What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to go ahead and bring it back to the skill-based matchmaking discussion once again. Talk about that blog post they put out a little while ago. Honestly, I got to be real with you guys. I don't think that blog post, no matter what, was going to resolve anything within the community. And again, they did. They did talk about exactly what they said they're going to go ahead and talk about. They said they're going to talk about the in-detailed, stuff with skill-based matchmaking. And a lot of people are angry that they didn't say they're going to remove it or tone it or do anything like that, even though they did state in the blog post that they heard us say that we think it's too sweaty and they were going to work on it. They literally said that in detail in their own words. They said they're going to work on it to try to make it less sweaty. And I actually made a video a few days ago, if you guys haven't seen it yet, talking about how the skill-based matchmaking has recently felt, like it's been not been toned down, but yeah, I guess so. Basically, it feels like they're testing it again because they did say that they do these behind-the-scene tests where they don't notify anybody in the community. They just go ahead and do it because obviously it gives better results, and they want to see if they can, figure something out that can tone back the matchmaking. And they've also tried out reducing the skill, aspect and, how much it tracks skill as well when it came to the matchmaking behind the scenes. You remember during the holiday season where a lot of people were coming out and saying that, it felt drastically different? Yeah, they did multiple tests. And right now, I really feel like it's being tested again. Of course, I can't really verify it just yet. I played it for 3 days straight, and it still feels very balanced. I get my sweaty matches, I get my casual matches, I see all different types of, player levels. I'm seeing even level 1s sometimes, level 1s, level 10s, and this is me playing with a full squad of like 2, 3, maybe even 4 plus KD individuals, full 6-stack, okay? So keep that in mind. It's not like I'm playing with, anybody that's very low skill that might be matching us up with those individuals. And even if so, a lot of the time, that's what ruins the experience for a lot of these people because they're forced into our lobbies anyways, right? Isn't the main thing that we all talk about is that playing with our friends with this current day of skill-based matchmaking sucks because it drags our friends into our sweaty lobbies? It wouldn't really make that much of a difference if you really think about it. If you got like 4 or 5 people, maybe one person who might be like a 1 or a 1.20 KD, I don't think it's going to really make it more lenient to their side compared to the 5 other, 2, 3 plus KD stack. But of course, before I go ahead and make another video, stating if I believe it has been toned down or not, I'm going to give it about another week. I'm going to let it run through the season 2 to see if they might be trying to bait people into the experience, because it seems like Activision does enjoy doing that. But again, you never know what Microsoft's plans are to do with the whole, whole matchmaking system. Only time will tell. But I do want to be a little bit more patient. I don't want to rush it. I want to make sure that, these matches stay the way they are. I don't want to, say they're fixed now and then 2, 3, 4 weeks, a couple of months down the road, I'm just versing nonstop sweats again. All level 250s are max levels, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus KDs every single game that you play. Basically a ranked experience. I want to make sure that we are certain here. But of course, leave your experiences down below if things have changed for you or if you're still feeling like there are casual lobbies. Even in the video, the skill-based matchmaking video I've made, I'm still getting comments saying that it's pretty casual. So I'm interested to see and hear what you guys are currently going through. But back to the main topic here. I kind of got a little off topic. I'm sorry. I apologize. Sometimes, I'm a ranter, I'm a rambler, I'm a commentator. Sometimes I just go with the flow of it, and I can't help myself. The point that I was trying to make is that they delivered on exactly what they said they were going to go ahead and do, right? We can't be really angry about them not saying they're going to remove it or do anything about it because they never told us they were going to do something of that sort, right? They only told us they were going to describe what the skill-based matchmaking does. They did exactly that. Now, yeah, there were multiple lies that have been spotted throughout the blog post, 1,010%, but they never said they were going to go ahead and remove it or do anything about it, right? So I am currently thinking that we are at the point because nobody's satisfied right now, and I expected that. I didn't really expect a lot of people to be satisfied about this because people weren't really wanting to see what skill-based matchmaking does. That's the funniest part about it, People only want it to be talked about if they're going to remove it or do anything about it, right? So I knew ahead of time that this was going to be a little bit of a disaster and not too many people were going to be happy about it. Me, myself, again, I went into it with this exact expectation. I literally saw exactly what I knew was going to be said. And they even did a little bit extra by talking about some conspiracy theories with bots and, having your gunfights being completely manipulated, so on and so forth. So, I'm happy with what they put out to us. But I will agree, I'm right there with you guys. This isn't enough to bring people back. Even with them stating in the messages in the skill-based matchmaking blog that they want to make sure they tune around and mess with stuff regarding the sweatiness in your matches, it doesn't matter. I think what people really want right now out of this discussion is EOMM. Forget about skill-based matchmaking, forget about all of that stuff. People want to know if they're being manipulated in their games or if they're not being manipulated. That is literally it. That's the final line. And again, when I say manipulation, I'm not talking about your bullets being curved and stuff like that. That doesn't happen. Again, a lot of these things are excuses by people who might get stomped or are getting annoyed with the lobby, and they will literally say anything to make them feel a little bit better, to patch up the ego. It is what it is. We're human beings. You know what I'm saying? Even I've been guilty of this type of stuff in the past. We all go through it. So I understand. But again, that's not what I'm talking about, and that's not basically in the game. When I say manipulation, I'm talking about them fine-tuning every single lobby to dictate your experience. Nobody wants that. We want genuine, good-feeling experiences when it comes to Call of Duty. Yeah, sometimes you gotta sweat. Yes, sometimes you get casual games, but you get thrown into the massive pool of players. It looks at, where you have best connection, and you play the game. That's all people want out of COD. But EOMM is designed to manipulate that experience, to make sure that, every single lobby that you get into is on their schedule. Does that make any sense? You're on the system schedule. You are playing what they want you to play. Now, of course, you can bypass this by simply just going ahead and playing with a full stack of, really goated players. You've always been able to do that. Always. If you want a great KD and you want to bypass this system, if you seriously play with a bunch of, seriously crazy KD players, I've been doing this for ages now, trust me, all the way back to the jetpack era. I was a little bit more casual before that, but during the jetpack era, I got super sweaty. I'm not going to lie to you guys, and that's all I did. I would just stomp out with a bunch of high-skilled players, and that's how you farm KDs. It really is. You see high KDs, it's only two reasons. They either reverse boost. If they're solo players, they're reverse boosting, okay? But if you see them rocking with a full squad all the time, it's 1,010% potential there that it's easy enough to build up that KD. It really is. And EOMM could try its hardest to manipulate your matches, but again, if you are playing with a very competent team, you can still kind of force your way through it. Maybe not all the way. It might at some point be able to really get you, but you'll be able to push harder than a solo player. The solo players are the real people who are truly getting destroyed by this algorithm, no matter what your skill level is, whether you're a low-tiered player, a medium-tiered player, or a high-tiered player. If you play alone, again, EOMM is going to dictate your experiences. If it wants you to lose, it will literally team you up with the worst of the worst players. And I'm not trying to be mean, but seriously, it will. It's going to make sure that someone in a complete opposite bracket of yours is going to be on your team to make sure that, no matter how hard you sweat, no matter how hard you try, the enemy team is going to destroy you. It's the goal of the system. And that's what people are annoyed with. And I don't think anything is going to be resolved in this community. Even if they tone down the skill-based matchmaking to make it way more casual, at the end of the day, the solo player's experience is still going to be manipulated. Even if you have a multiple chain of easy lobbies, that's what's going to change to. Instead of having multiple chain of sweaty lobbies, then a bonus toss, then multiple chains of more sweaty lobbies than a bonus toss. It'll be, a couple of casual games, maybe a sweaty game, a couple of casual games and a sweaty game, a couple of casual games and a sweaty game. It doesn't matter what they do with the skill-based matchmaking. It doesn't matter how much they tone it down. It doesn't matter how much they reduce the skill. Your lobbies are going to be dictated ahead of time if EOMM is truthfully in Call of Duty. Again, we don't know for sure, but that's what we want to hear. It doesn't matter what they say about skill-based matchmaking. And honestly, I don't want to hear anything else about skill-based matchmaking because that's not going to resolve anything in the community. The only thing that will resolve any bit of hope for people out there is to hear that their experiences are not being manipulated with proof. Because you know for a fact, even if they say there's no EOMM, there's still going to be people out there who are going to say otherwise. Just like how they said that people's bullets aren't being manipulated and their shots aren't being curved. And people are still saying, oh, even though that's in the blog post, that's false. People won't believe it until they actually see it with their own eyes. You need to come up with proof here. And, that's the case. They're going to have to showcase us something, some hard details to give us factual information that it's not in the game or it is in the game. But that's all I want to see now, and I think that's all the community wants to see. It doesn't matter, and people have to get the idea of skill-based matchmaking out of their heads, because no matter how many times the developers or the Call of Duty team or Activision discusses skill-based matchmaking, nothing they say will ever be able to make you feel better. It's not. No matter what. Doesn't matter what they state about it, it's not going to make you feel better, because that's not what, is really going to kill your overall experience. It is the EOMM. That is going to be what really dictates the happiness in the community. So, yeah, that's basically all I want to say in this video today. I just want to put this out there because I think this is the final straw here. This is the final thing that needs to be done in order to gain back your community's trust. They might be a little salty. They might be thinking behind the scenes as we just went ahead and we put out this blog post and everybody's salty about it. But they have to understand that's not what anybody wants to hear. At the end of the day, it's simply not. People want to know if their match-to-match games are being manipulated or if they're not being manipulated. And there's still no answers. And when you don't give people answers, guess what? They form their own answers. And the longer you wait, the longer you hold off, those answers in their head, those, whether they're real answers or fake answers, it doesn't matter. They become real no matter what, the longer that they keep telling themselves that. The longer that they think that their matches are being manipulated and no answers are being given to them, they're going to ingrain that into their brain, and that's what they're going to truthfully believe. And there's going to become a point where no matter what you say, no matter what you do, they won't believe what you have to say. So my suggestion here is to come out as soon as possible and go ahead and discuss this. I know my words mean absolutely nothing here, and they probably won't even hear this video, but that's just my 2 cents on the overall story, and I want to know if you guys agree or disagree with me. Do you think that this is what needs to be discussed in order to make the community happy, or do you think that there's something different that needs to be discussed? I don't know. I know a lot of people are still going to say that their bullets are being curved and, bots are being implemented into their game to make them lose and, so on and so forth. No, maybe not bot. They're putting in lower tiered players, not bots, lower tiered players. But again, I know there's going to be a lot of people out there who has stuff to say about that and won't believe what they said. But I think that there's bigger things, bigger fish that need to be fried, right? There's bigger things that got to be fried right now. And that is the EOMM discussion. They have to go ahead and bring that up. And I think that right there will bring a little bit more peace into the community, along with them toning down the skill, the skill-based matchmaking with the skill level, or skill tracking. If they could do those 2 things combined, if they can discuss EOMM and also lower skill-based matchmaking, that would make the community so happy that words wouldn't even be able to describe it. And I guarantee their player count would probably double, even triple after that point. I promise you this, but that has to be discussed. Like I said before, you can't just talk about skill-based matchmaking and be toned. No, you can't do that. You can't, because the matches are still going to be felt manipulative for people, and they're going to want to know, is EOMM a thing or is it not? But ladies and gentlemen, that's my 2 cents. As always, leave your comments down below. If you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell. We do indeed post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern times. And, sometimes on the rare occurrence, we do post double uploads here at 4 p.m. Eastern time. So like I said, hit that bell so you can stay notified on everything that goes live here. And last but not least, I do stream pretty much daily besides Sundays over on Kick. So if you guys are interested in any of that type of content, or you want to hop into the open lobbies that we host over there, you can find a link to my Kick channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.